Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farrah doesn't flinch. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Transparency, trying to get the message out to others. It's key. Maybe the latter, not in your personal life, but certainly in your professional life it is, in your business life it is. Duval, a one-horse town. Duval with the need to know. And that's exactly what you got at 4:15 today with General Manager James Gladstone. Didn't feel forced. Didn't look at you cross-eyed. Just sat, stood there, took on the questions, answered the questions in what I thought was a very elaborate way. I mean, really getting deep into decisions that this organization has made over the last 24 hours. And honestly, it was pretty cool. And, we're going to play some of that for you coming up here over the next couple of hours. But it's simple. Just, do your job, right? It's not for us. We can talk about anything. I've never been tongue-tied. It's to get information to you, the Jaguars fans. And Liam Cohen is off to a really good start, I think, with explaining what he's trying to do. And now James Gladstone. I asked James Gladstone that exact same question when he was introduced here. Okay, are you going to talk with us? And I said the former general manager did not talk to us. And when he did, it felt forced. And it was. And, I just don't get it, right? Not everyone in the media is an enemy. Not everyone in the media is trying to strike you down. There are plenty out there that want to see this organization do well because it benefits them in a lot of different ways. Congratulations, James Gladstone, a young man. He gets it. He absolutely does. And he said some really good things today. For starters, the most important thing, Travis Hunter is healthy. He practiced today. We're going to get an opportunity to watch him practice tomorrow. This is kind of cool with this, one more week before the start of the regular season. We will be out at the Miller Electric Center tomorrow, and looking forward to that. So Travis Hunter practiced today. Also said that Eric Armstead feels fresh, feels good, and that he's ready to go. So, a couple of guys right there that did not play in the preseason, right? Hunter got, 20-some odd snaps against Pittsburgh, and Armstead, just really not involved. So, health-wise, that is very important. Okay, the Jaguars made one move today. It has been highly discussed. Tim Patrick is now a guy at the age of 31 who is the oldest wide receiver on this football team. He's also the biggest, 6'5", 210. Jacksonville gives up a sixth-round pick next year to the Detroit Lions. Here's a guy that, if he can stay healthy, can help the football team. He tore his ACL in 2022. He tore his Achilles in 2023. He's a former undrafted free agent by Baltimore back in 2017. Played in Denver, played in Detroit. When he's healthy, he can do a variety of things for you. Number one, he's considered a real good run-blocking wide receiver. Our friend Daniel Griffiths had the latest from Pro Football Focus saying Tim Patrick last year was 11th out of 137 wide receivers when it came to run blocking. I feel like I want to put this on the air. I keep blocking these callers, Dylan, and it's always coming out of New York and New Jersey telling me that I have IRS issues.
Oh, yeah. Scam,
Okay.
scam. And no matter how many times you block it, they always keep calling from a different number.
The retiring Jack Leone has done my taxes forever. And I don't get it, why they keep calling and calling and calling back. I don't have any issues at all with the IRS. And let me give you a bit of advice. Okay, you may cheat on your significant other. You may cheat on your diet. Don't cheat the IRS. Do not. You get yourself in a massive helping of discomfort and trouble. So rude during the year. Maybe I should just put, like I move my drink over to the side. Maybe I should just move my cell phone over to the side so I don't get distracted by those claiming to be part of the IRS. All right, back to Tim Patrick. He is a guy that they're going to count on in run blocking situations. And I'm not talking about 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, goal line type of deals or there to try to run up the middle and pick up a first down. I think he is going to be effective in the screen game as well as a blocking wide receiver. For starters right now, I think he's going to have a little bit of trouble getting on the field. Jacksonville, they feel very good about their top 4 wide receivers, but at 6'5", he also gives Trevor Lawrence something he has not had around here, and that is a bona fide wide receiver who can get on the field, who is tall. And at 6'5", that is what you have with Patrick. Again, what is he going to do? How long is it going to take him to grasp this offense? 33 balls, 394 yards, 3 touchdowns a year ago, an average of 11.9. So we will certainly get into that tonight. Austin Trammell waived. That's not a shock. We kind of forecasted this yesterday. Surprisingly enough, the Jaguars did not go to the waiver wire. And James Gladstone, this was the one point where he did keep it slightly close to the vest. He talked about how we would be surprised if we saw what was going on with the waiver wire, but Jacksonville did not add a player. We know that they were 5th in the waiver wire. It's the same thing with the NFL draft. So only one player is added. That comes via a trade, right? And Patrick is in, Trammell is out. It's the 3rd trade they've made. Luke Fortner went to New Orleans for Colin Johnson, who made the team. They moved Fred Johnson yesterday for a 7th-round pick to Philadelphia. And then again, you make the deal today with Detroit, a 6th-rounder next year, by saying goodbye to that draft pick to get Tim Patrick. Austin Trammell waived. So as a free agent, he can sign with any team. There also is a possibility that he could return here. Remember, the 16-team practice squad, you must have 10 players on your 16-team practice squad who have 2 years or less playing time in the NFL, and you can have 6 who have played any amount of games. And they did add a couple of wide receivers to their practice squad today, Dorian Singer and Chandler Brayboy. They've also got a couple of guys, or Joshua Cephas, who obviously was waived injured. He's on the IR. We'll have to see if they do a similar thing with Eli Pancol. No talk about that today, so we'll see if he ends up, clearing and becomes available to possibly bring back here. Jacksonville's done that already twice if you add Cooper Hodges to the mix. 14 players announced today with the practice squad, so you still have 2 openings to bring back more players. The best news there, in my opinion, Jaquindon Jackson. All right? He does return, and he was absolutely priority number 1, in my opinion, to get back here in Jacksonville and watch him develop. A good year. Now, I keep getting asked practice squad rules. If another team wants to come and take someone off the Jaguars practice squad, he's guaranteed 3 weeks salary as an active player. So even if you have to put him on your 53-man roster. okay? And if you go out and you get him, and let's say you play him 1 week and you don't like what he did and you say goodbye to him, you still have to pay him 2 more weeks worth of his salary. So something to consider if you're just thinking that you can pluck guys here and there from the and in a situation like that, if you cut him, he can come right back and be added to the practice squad. So an interesting way of looking at it. All right, Shmunez Vision. Good to have them with us as we get things cranked up right here on this Wednesday edition. You know, everything advances technically speaking. And it's amazing the amount of money some of these practices are charging to do tests on your eyes. And it goes deeper and deeper and deeper. This is one situation where you look at Shmunez Vision, the most expensive isn't always the best. It is for tickets to a game. It is if you probably go out and buy a new vehicle. But when it comes to your eyes, advanced equipment and things that, just don't necessarily apply, that could be the case for you. And that's one of the things that they do look out for at Shmunez Vision. And by the way, they have all that advanced equipment. If it is necessary, they'll use it. But that's the point I'm trying to make. There are times where it's not, and practices will go forward and do it anyway. At Shmunez Vision, you're not going to deal with any of that. It's straight facts, and it involves your eyes. Dr. Neil Shmunez, Dr. Catherine Shmunez, and Dr. John Hunt, been around for more than 37 years when you look at surgery, whether it is a need or a want. I love them. 9 years ago, I went in for a normal checkup. Dr. Neil Shmunez said, "You need surgery tomorrow morning." I'm like, "You got to be kidding me. My eyes are fine. I see great." He goes, "Brother, it needs to come out." Happened the very next morning. I've never had a setback. Shmunez Vision. Check them out online. You can also go to Instagram. Get the very latest as well from Shmunez Vision. All right, when we come back, let's hear from James Gladstone on the Tim Patrick trade. Let's hear from James Gladstone on the question I asked him about why Caleb Ransaw is on the shelf. Okay, if you have not heard that, good. We will play that for you as we start things right here on this Wednesday edition of Into the Night.
Hayes Carline is our special agent. He goes into the locker room to uncover insights about your favorite football team. His mission is to bring it back to you on 1010XL. Special Ops support by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
It's time to elevate your back-to-school style with luxury and a brand-new Cadillac.
Discover the 2025 Luxury XT6, a spacious 7-seat SUV starting at just $49,195. Perfect for carpooling or weekend adventures.
That's right, or step up your game with the stunning 2026 Vistique, Escalade, and Escalade IQ.
I want to go back to school in style.
You can. Visit us at Randy Marion Cadillac on Southside Boulevard in Jacksonville. This school year, it's all about style.
Plus tax tag title, $9.99 admin fee, and resist all on approved credit.
How do you know that your roof is ready for the next big storm? You don't. That's why you need to call me. I'm Ronnie, the owner of Brandon Roofing. We'll assess your roof and fix those issues before they become storm disasters. Visit BrandonRoofing.com today to schedule your free roofing quote.
License number CCC 1328006.
If you're playing fantasy football, you might want a little help. Get 1010XL's Fantasy Football Draft Guide with in-depth player bios and the top 32 rankings at every position. Get the guide at 1010XL.com and on all of the 1010XL social channels.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it, they do it. Whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
Calling all poker players. The Best Bet Summer Swing Series kicks off August 18th at Best Bet Orange Park with a $200 no-limit hold'em and a $100,000 guarantee. Next stop, Best Bet St. Augustine with a $150,000 guaranteed poker tournament. Then wrap it up Labor Day weekend in Jacksonville with a massive $300,000 guarantee. Play all three events and swing for big winnings. Get all the details at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Ballou here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Summer means fun in all forms. Longer days and more chances to soak up the sun and the fun. Budweiser and Bud Light reminding you to drink wiser. Hydrate between beers and don't sweat it. It's the best way to get home safely.
Bueller, stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, Jason, got a minute?
Always. What's on your mind?
This time of year, my air conditioner is running non-stop. Hot all day, hot all night. It has to run constantly just to keep up.
Well, that's what they do.
But if something happens to it in the middle of a 2-week heat wave, I'm in trouble, Jason. I can't wait 3 days or 2 days or even the next day for service. If you can't get someone here today, I'm sweating by tonight. What if it breaks, Jason?
You call me, pal. That's what we do. Bueller Air and Plumbing.
But you're probably swamped with calls from everyone else's AC that ran nonstop and then broke in a heat wave, so they called you because that's what you do.
But we always have room for an emergency. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we have techs standing by because we know these things happen.
So I don't need to worry. Wow. That time you calmed me down without even using the sunglasses.
Oh, I was reaching for them.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Ballou here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Here you can see.
1010XL, presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farrah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The Philly Godfather is 15 minutes away. We're going to look at the big ones. Alabama, Florida State, Texas, Ohio State, LSU, Clemson, convicts, Catholics, plus some futures from the Philly Godfather. That's 15 minutes away. 52-62 Blue. Is this the end of the waiver stuff? I mean, is the roster pretty much final? No. He was, again, really spoke on that today. It's always evolving. You're always looking to get better. I didn't even make a case right now. There's probably a handful of guys that'll either be placed on IR or perhaps cut if they think they can get better football players. Injuries obviously forces that. You don't want to deal with it, but it happens to all 32 teams. Who will be available if they think they can get better? Someone falls out of favor with an organization. Someone else from another team gets cut, whether you're waived or released. But no, I think that this is going to be very fluid throughout. All right, tonight's show brought to you by Alexander Law Practice, 400-6600, free call, free consultation. If you have been injured and it has happened in an automobile accident, any personal injury that you're dealing with, Alexander Law Practice, that is your one stop, okay? You're never going to come out of pocket. That's one of the greatest things about Alexander Law, all right? Your car may be ruined. You can't afford to get it fixed. These are the type of questions you ask Rick Alexander and his staff. They may pay it for you, okay? It all comes down to what happened, and if you're a victim and it was careless driving on the other side, boy, does that absolutely apply when it comes to things like this. You may not be able to get to work. Call Alexander Law Practice. You may not be able to call or pay your bills. Call Alexander Law Practice, right? You'll never come out of pocket. And then, of course, at the end, the reward is going to be there for you. So, Alexander Law Practice, or give them a free call at 400-6600. Get that individualized attention. that you deserve. Let's get to James Gladstone. Let's begin with him today, and this just happened at 4:15 over at the Miller Electric Center. James Gladstone, why they traded today for wide receiver Tim Patrick.
Really excited about the addition of Tim Patrick. He is somebody that from afar, both Liam, myself, the coaching staff, the scouting staff has really appreciated his game. We talk about the idea of being mentally and physically tough, like I just pointed to, and I use the phrase intangibly rich a lot. I think anybody that does their homework on Tim Patrick understands that he's never had an easy path. He's always had to overcome obstacles. And the only thing that he communicated to us after this decision was made, that he's ready to earn every op that lies in front. And when he's got that hunger that he can provide, obviously from a veteran presence, to a room who definitely has, up until Diami, a lot of youth, right? A lot of inexperience in comparison. And the idea of building out a basketball team with not only the wide receiver room, but multiple position groups, that can be very helpful, right? Not the same exact genre across the group. That can be something that when you talk with Liam, being able to artfully design plays to tap into those skill sets is something that he gets creative juices from. And so that was something that was really excited about the addition of Tim, knowing that he brings something that we don't currently have in the space.
8-year veteran Tim Patrick. Again, he's missed 2 seasons with just awful injuries. An Achilles in 2023. He tore his ACL in 2022, but was productive again last year. 33 balls, 394 yards, 3 TDs. I was going back and looking at his earlier career in Denver, and he was obviously an example of just terrible quarterback play. I'm looking at receptions, the targets, 51 of 79 in 2020, 53 of 85 in 2021. Average, though, 14.5, 13.8. His career average with 176 receptions, 13.7. All right. Big target. Also, a guy who is a very good run blocking wide receiver. So the very latest there from James Gladstone on, what he did with the trade. He moved a little bit earlier today. They do have 2 wide receivers on their practice squad, Dorian Singer and Chandler Brayboy. They brought back Seth Hennigan as a quarterback. Okay, Jaquindon Jackson was priority number 1 for me. They brought him back as a running back. They brought back both tight ends who were in camp, Quentin Morris and Patrick Herbert. And they brought back 3 offensive linemen, Sal Wormley, Ricky Lee, and Jerome Carvin. So more offensive players than defense. They did add 3 DBs, Kenny H. Lovely, Cameron Silman Craig, and Jabbar Muhammad. They also brought back a defensive lineman and Kevy Rose. So those are the 14. Again, room for some more moves to make here for the Jacksonville Jaguars with their practice squad. Austin Tremble's been let go. There's an opportunity that maybe he could come back. Some former players, I wondered if Tyler Lacey or Jordan Jefferson would come back if the opportunity presented itself. They were both picked up today on the waiver wire. Jefferson went to the 49ers. Lacey went to Detroit. He joins Daniel Thomas. Daniel Thomas, is a player who was released, was free to sign with any team in the NFL. He goes off to Detroit. Also, Chad Muma today, picked up by the Indianapolis Colts. So you got to deal with Chad Muma now, twice a season in the AFC South. I want to play one more part here with James Gladstone because, I was asked quite a bit what was my biggest surprise with the 53-man roster. Well, for me, it was Caleb Ransaw being placed on the season-ending injured reserve. We knew that he had a lower body injury. We did not know the significance of this injury. So earlier this afternoon, I asked James Gladstone that question. What's going on with Caleb Ransaw?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. He had a non-contact injury on his foot that ultimately we put him in a boot with the hope that it wouldn't result in surgery. Checked after the boot came off, and it was clear that we were going to have to go in. And so he ended up having the surgery. Still had optimism that there was a chance towards the back half of the year that he would be able to return and do a designation for return. Unfortunately, it ended up being that it was going to be too close to the buzzer, so to speak, and it would have been some version of trying to rush him back. Looking at the long game, it makes the most sense to make sure his recovery timeline isn't rushed and we can go about it the right way for him. And yeah, it's disappointing because he is somebody that we certainly had a very vivid vision for, and he was progressing at an extremely high rate. But nonetheless, we got a good group that is ready to bring it to life on the grass and play together, play in tandem, and looking forward to seeing that here against the Carolina Panthers.
So that is a disappointment. I think they did really were counting on Caleb Ransaw. That was the opinion that I got, that they were hoping to plug him in immediately, if not as a starter, certainly as a guy that eventually would become a starter and would be part of the rotation this year. But he is lost, okay? You know, the good news is a couple of other injured reserve candidates are on this 53-man roster. If you look at offensive lineman Cole Van Lanning, last year's swing tackle, and also if you go to the defense and you go to the cornerback position, I thought there was a pretty good opportunity for Buster Brown to begin the year on injured reserve. That is not the case. He is on the 53-man roster as well. So overall, some good news there. Dylan Denmark, it's raining again here in Duval.
Stop it.
Mm-hmm. Got the lawn cut today. Got most of it cut today, right before the rain. Then it started pouring, so a little bit in my backyard I had to let go. I'll finish that up tomorrow. But anyway, what's going on? How are you doing?
Things are good, man. It wasn't too hot today, which is kind of weird for it to be in August here in Florida. It's a Wednesday, just getting through, and college football starts tomorrow with a couple of games. So I'm counting down the days, Rick, for college football to kick off and get it rolling.
Tim Brando tomorrow night will have Minnesota and Buffalo. We're going to talk with Tim Brando before that tomorrow night. That'll be at 8 o'clock on FS1. And then he's on the road, Ames, Iowa. He'll have Iowa State and South Dakota on Saturday. That will come on after the Texas-Ohio State game on Fox. And that is what we are going to begin with next. The Philly Godfather, his first appearance this fall, although it feels like it's summer here in Jacksonville. Of course, we had him on during March Madness, and we had him on to talk about his brand new book, which has been just spectacular. I've read it. Dylan has read it. But let's get into it now with his plays. We'll take a look at these 4 really big games in college football this weekend as well. What futures did the Philly Godfather play? All of that coming up on the other side.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Hey, school's in session, and here's today's lesson. We have hundreds of certified vehicles to choose from, starting as low as $89.99. Plus, they come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile peace of mind warranty and free oil changes. That means you and your soon-to-be drivers will be protected. Plus, every purchase allows us to fund teachers' projects for the entire school year. Your next assignment, get to Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine, Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville, or Beaver Mitsubishi in St. Augustine. We're here to wow you and our teachers.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Football season finally upon us, and with that comes cooler weather. If you've been wanting to upgrade your outdoor living space, you should call the experts at Lifetime Enclosures now. From glass lanais to screened-in enclosures, Lifetime Enclosures and Flooring is the best in the business, so give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione, Campione Law.
Your AC's broke, it ain't no joke. Call Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida
LonePronto.com.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. One of the biggest changes we've seen in fine jewelry over the last 25 years has been the growth of jewelry designers. At Underwoods, we're the leader, bringing to North Florida the best names in designer jewelry. In fact, we carry designer lines in a similar way to how clothing stores carry designer labels. The difference is that jewelry designers have to be a little more timeless in their presentations because nobody wants to buy a fine piece of jewelry only to find out the next year it's gone out of style. That's why you'll find at Underwoods the best of the jewelry designer names, those that are tried and true and popular. Names like David Yerman, Roberto Coin, John Hardy, Marco Bichigo, Jude Francis, Lagos, Hippolyta, and a lot more are all available right now at Underwoods. So if you want the best looks in designer jewelry, stop by Underwoods, San Marco, Avondale, or the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Maxed out on credit cards, struggling with high interest debt? You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. That's Loan Pronto. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is an A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call now and start the conversation. Go to LoanPronto.com or call 999-1508. That's LoanPronto.com.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. Call 904-722-1111.
Instant Keys saves the day if you've lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call Instant Keys, 722-1111.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
You know what this means? Football is officially back. Let's bring in the legend who's now added author to his title when it comes to his various job descriptions. He is the one, the only, the Philly Godfather. Welcome.
Thanks for having me back, Rick. I'm glad you guys loved the book. Debuted #1 on Amazon. It's killing it. I'm very humbled by the response and all the love from everybody, and it's been a good year.
Man, it's been unbelievable. I noticed you're still doing signings. I mean, usually they come and they go. Not the case for Booked.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a bunch lined up. I'm speaking at Westchester University September 16th at 7 p.m., which I never thought would ever happen. You know, I'm a high school dropout, and now they got me on stage speaking at colleges.
Wow. Just incredible. Really happy for you. I know you just talked with Dylan Denmark. He read the book. I read the book. We had you on to talk about the book. But, again, for our listeners, where is the best place to go to get it?
Yeah, you can go to Amazon. It's shipped to order. It'll be out the next day. Or if you want an autographed copy, you can go to phillybooked.com.
All right, Philly Godfather. Let's get right after it. What a start. Noon on Saturday. #1, Texas. #3, Ohio State in Columbus. How do you see it, Philly Godfather?
Yeah, the line opened up originally with Ohio State being a 3-point home favorite over Texas. Combined total was set at 15.5, but since then there's been a 2-point drop on the side, and I'm currently seeing Ohio State favored by 1.5 points and as low as -1 offshore. The total has also seen about a 3-point drop as well. It currently sits at 47.5, so there's some sharp money on the dog here and the under. If you just, reading the line. I like the Longhorns here. I took +3. I took them on the money line. I think the wrong team's favorite, Rick. I know Ohio State always, restocks with talented kids, but their returning production from last season is ranked 101st nationally. And they lost a lot of key seniors. I mean, they lost Marvin Harrison Jr., Cody Simon, Sonny Styles. I think 14 Buckeyes were picked in the NFL draft, and that's just hard to, just hard to replace. I like Texas here, +3. I took them to win the national championship, +600. I took Archie +900 to win the Heisman. I'm all in with this Texas team. They're going to have an elite defense this year, top 5, definitely top 10. And they got some weapons on offense.
All right, Arch +900 for the Heisman. Now, you said you're also taking Texas to win the national title.
Yeah, I took them +6 to 1.
+6 to 1. All right, +600 for the national title with the Philly Godfather. Let's head down the road here just a little bit. God's country, my goodness, Florida State. What to make of them against an Alabama team that all of a sudden has a couple of key injuries.
Yeah, the price on this matchup, it's been bouncing around from 12.5 to as high as 14 since it opened up. But when that number hit 14, there was some resistance in the market at some of the offshore spots with some sharp money that punched it back to 13.5. So I guess the injuries played a role in that line bouncing back from a key number of 14 down to 13.5. But as of right now, Alabama's getting all the money. I mean, over 80% of the early tickets are on the Crimson Tide. Total, on the other hand, it opened 50.5. It's still painted, 50.5 everywhere. It's just hard for me to back Florida State here. I mean, after the disastrous season they had last year, I really don't know what to expect from the Gators going up against an Alabama team that's returning 70% of the defensive production from last season. This Crimson Tide team should win 10 games this year and probably make the playoffs. Their defense is projected to be elite again. If you do like Florida State, maybe you bet them in the first half +7.5. But the longer this game goes, the uglier it probably gets. I didn't bet it yet, but anything under 2 touchdowns, I probably like Alabama here.
Yeah. Okay. Makes a lot of sense. I do see it getting kind of sideways in the second half. Philly Godfather, what's the best way for our listeners to get a hold of you?
You can follow me on X at Philly Godfather, or you can stop by the website, thephillygodfather.com.
It's an incredible Saturday for college football. Let's get to LSU and Clemson, this one being played in Death Valley, South Carolina.
Yeah, I'm really bullish on this Clemson team this season. I laid -180 on them to make the playoffs. They have the highest returning production rate, I think, in college football. They bring back the quarterback, who is tied for the second best odds to win the Heisman at +950. And I wouldn't be surprised if Davis Sweeney hasn't played Texas in the national championship game at the end of the season, if the ball bounces their way, obviously, and they stay healthy. But I did take LSU here +4.5. I think Brian Kelly's team can keep this game close. LSU's QB is also one of the best in college football, who happens to have the second best odds tied with Klubnik to win the Heisman at 950. On the offensive side, LSU returns 65% of their production. So they should be able to keep up with Clemson. What might be a shootout, I mean, this total is up to as high as 58 from sports books, so they're expecting some points here. I do think Clemson wins the game, but I kind of like LSU on anything over a field goal +3.5 or better.
Oh, interesting. All right, yeah, best quarterback in the ACC and Klubnik, and a lot of people think that Nussmeier's the best quarterback in the SEC. Some people around here will tell you that it is Lagway, but we will see. Let's wrap it up, Philly Godfather. What a treat on Sunday night to get Notre Dame and Miami in Miami.
Yeah, it's going to be all of a game, man. I mean, both these teams are projected to win 9.5 and 10.5 games on the season, so you got two great squads here. I'm a little bit of a Notre Dame fan this season. I took them -180 to make the playoffs. But the Hurricanes with Carson Beck, they scare me a little bit to kick off the season. Fighting Irish opened up as 2.5-point favorites. The line is up to 3, and surprisingly, the sharp money hasn't taken the 3 yet. That's such a key number. So that should worry you a little bit if you're looking to back Miami. The total, on the other hand, opened up 54. It dropped down 5 points. It's down to 49. So there's definitely some sharp money on the under here, guys. When it comes to the side, like I said earlier, Carson Beck is a great pickup for the Hurricanes after losing Cam Ward. But and I know Miami's offensive line is projected to be really strong this year, but he had those dogs from Georgia protecting him last season. And 4 of those offensive linemen, 4 of those starters went to the NFL. And as good as Miami's offensive line is, I don't think they're as good as Georgia's last season. And if I remember correctly, Cam Ward had a great year passing the ball, but he was running for his life a lot, made some great throws. And I don't think Beck can use his legs like Cam Ward. I think Notre Dame's defense is a little too much for Miami here. And as long as C.J. Carr doesn't throw a few interceptions against a pretty good Miami defense, I think Notre Dame wins the game. I bet Notre Dame on the money line.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, obviously they play for a national title. Miami all year had to come from behind, and it worked early for them, and then they let a couple get away late in the season. All right, you gave us plenty of futures. Anything else that you want to mention futures-wise, or did you give us enough?
I think that's pretty much everything. Penn State, watch out for Penn State. They might win the conference there. You can grab them plus, I think, 220. I know Ohio State's the favorite, plus 200.
Wow.
But Penn State's a really good team, and James Franklin showed me a little spunk last year. They went a little deep in the playoffs, so he didn't collapse like in the previous season. So watch out for Penn State.
How do they get the book, Philly Godfather?
Yeah, you can go to Amazon, booked by the Philly Godfather. You can go to phillybook.com, and you'll get an autographed copy.
And how do our listeners get a hold of you?
Yeah, you can find me on X at Philly Godfather. Stop by the website, thepphillygodfather.com. And every Wednesday, I'll be here on the best show on the planet with Rick Ballou.
We're thrilled about it. Appreciate the time, Philly Godfather. Thank you.
Good luck, guys.
There he goes. What do you think? Put $1,000 in every one of his plays? What do you think, Dylan?
Wouldn't be a bad idea.
I mean,
he's cashed how many?
Well, yeah.
The last couple of years.
Can you stay consistent with that? Maybe you want to put $25 on it. There won't be as much stress, I would think. But, the itch. Sooner or later, I'll get back into it. I know it's only a matter of time. I just don't have it right now. 80% of the money on Bama. Wow.
What's the spread now? About 14 or 15?
Just under 13.5.
Okay.
Right. This is really interesting because a lot of people are believing that Ohio State wins the game at home, but they believe that Texas wins the national title. Philly Godfather just said he thinks they have a real good shot to win the Philly Godfather. He's got them at 6-1, but he's actually going to take them money line this weekend in a battle against Ohio State. See, for me, this is kind of a feeling out process. That's what's great about not betting on games, is that you just don't know early on. Now, if you're a guy that or a gal loves to do it, that's why I bring on these handicappers like the Philly Godfather. I know it's very popular, but good luck with that. 4.5 LSU at Clemson, Notre Dame -3. He told us that a lot of sharp money on the under right now between LSU and Clemson. Boy, 57.5. If that's still the same number, that is a large one. No question about it. All right, thank you to the Philly Godfather. Thank you to you as well. Hey, coming up at 7 o'clock, John Oehser. Saw him just a few hours ago over at the Miller Electric Center, senior writer for Jaguars.com. We'll get him on the program and get the very latest from John Oehser as far as what he sees with this roster. Let's get you involved with it as well. 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. You can also join us on YouTube. Go to 1010XL into the night.
1010XL brings you the orange and blue.
Wow, wow, wow!
The Gators grit their teeth against the Sharks of Long Island University. Saturday at 7 on Jacksonville's home of Florida Gators football. 1010XL.
Guys, want a golf course fairway quality lawn? TopDressing.com just landed in Jacksonville with the golf course secret for St. Augustine grass homeowners. A patented process that aerates and turns your turf into a fairway stunner. Serious golf course technology, but in your yard. Less water, tighter cuts, total neighborhood domination. No one else scores a perfect 10 lawn. Hit TopDressing.com now. You will own the block. Top dress your yard like the pros with TopDressing.com.
Join Jim Furyk and other legends of the PGA Tour for the Constellation Furyk and Friends, presented by Circle K, October 3rd through 5th at Timuquana Country Club. Catch the new community concert series on the 17th hole after play, featuring country artists Low Cash and Love and Theft. Public parking is free with complimentary tournament access for military, courtesy of ViStar Credit Union. Get tickets now for the Constellation Furyk and Friends, presented by Circle K, starting at just $25 at Ticketmaster.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On August 27, 2017, Floyd Mayweather defeated Conor McGregor in 10 rounds.
Interested in a unique date night? Gibby here. I took my wife Nikki to Wick a Candle Bar. She made her own custom candle right there in the store. Shop local at Wick a Candle Bar. Locations in San Marco and Jacks Beach.
Hey, it's Joe C. When was the last time you flushed out your water heater? Flushing a water heater each year improves its efficiency and extends its lifespan. So call Roland Reese Plumbing for a routine water heater flush out and any other plumbing needs. 260-7059. Roland Reese Plumbing.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Is your backyard ready for the big leagues? Pick it here for Surfside Pools. Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, they have the home field advantage. Family owned and operated, offering weekly pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools make your backyard dreams a reality. Are you ready to float happy? Visit SurfsidePools.net or call 904-246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, your hometown MVP.
License number CPC 044080.
Hurricane season on the First Coast can leave you in the dark, so why not get a head start on storm season with a home generator system from American Electrical? They've sold and installed more generators in Jacksonville than any other company around, with scores of whole home generator installations throughout North Florida. That's right, American Electrical has been installing and repairing thousands of generators for over a decade in Duval. Keep your loved ones and property protected. Log on to American-Electrical.com and see how they can help you.
Has any Major League Baseball player ever hit 2 grand slams in the same inning?
Filing an insurance claim following a storm shouldn't be an ordeal. Southern Oak Insurance's claim team prepares for catastrophic situations well in advance. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Fernando Tatis of the Cardinals hit 2 grand slams in the same inning in 1999. Both came off the same pitcher, Chan Ho Park of the Dodgers.
Southern Oak Insurance, our family protecting yours.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference. For 100 years, service you can trust. Lee and Kate's Glass, depend on us. Glass solutions to meet your needs. Reliable quality guaranteed. Complete customer satisfaction. With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
1010XL, presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farrah doesn't flinch. Into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
You know, whether it's a home and home or you play one year, then you turn around and do it again, it's tough to win both. I guess the Florida State LSU series would be an exception a few years ago. But you saw what Ohio State did to Texas in the playoffs. And this is a new Ohio State football team. You know, Julian Sayin is a 5-star from California, from Carlsbad. He signed early and enrolled at Bama. And then it just never worked out. He left. He was on the squad a year ago in 2024 at Ohio State. So, you know, he's very familiar with everything that is around him. I just think it's so hard to go on the road and win at a place. I mean, I tell you what, they're dodging a bullet getting this at noon. They absolutely are. And that Ohio State fan base is one of the best you'll find in college football. But it really would have benefited the Buckeyes to get that game at 3:30 or 7:38. So that favors the roadie. But I'm going to come right out and say it. I think there's going to be way too much pressure on Steve Sarkisian and Arch Manning. And the folks, you just sent me a text now. Everyone betting Texas on this game. We haven't seen much sharp money yet on this contest, but I don't know. This to me is just a sit back and enjoy it type of football game. And I think that is going to be, a sensational way to kick off this college football Saturday. I mean, what a day. And you have that at noon. I also want to keep an eye on Syracuse and Tennessee at noon. And then, you get to 3:30. Georgia is playing against Marshall. So I certainly will have that on. My focus will be, without any question, on Florida State and Alabama. The Gators at 7 o'clock on Saturday night. The big one is LSU and Clemson at 7:30. That is absolutely phenomenal, in my opinion. And then, of course, on Sunday, you have a doubleheader, right? Va-Tech and South Carolina. They're going to play at 3 o'clock, and then at 7:30 at night. I mean, this is what it's all about to me. Notre Dame and Miami, both preseason ranked in the top 10. And, that's the place to be in the month of September. I guess this is the final day of August, when Miami not only plays Notre Dame at home, but they play Florida in a couple weeks at home. Miami's schedule is just ridiculous. And the same thing really does apply to Notre Dame, and the same thing really does apply to Clemson. But if you look at Miami, home games with Notre Dame, Bethune-Cookman, South Florida, and Florida, they go to Florida State. Then they're home with Louisville and Stanford. They don't leave the state of Florida until November 1st when they go to SMU. And they have home dates with Syracuse and North Carolina State. They do wrap it up with 2 cold weather games at Va-Tech and at Pittsburgh in the latter part of November. But, I mean, only 3 road games all year. One you go to Texas, Virginia Tech, and Pittsburgh. So, anyway, a very accommodating schedule, in my opinion. And, they did schedule, give them credit, they scheduled 2 very difficult non-conference opponents in Notre Dame and in Florida. But I just think the home-away situation absolutely does benefit Carson Beck and the Miami Hurricanes. All right, let's get set for John Oehser. He's going to join us at 7 o'clock. I was just with John a few hours ago. James Gladstone, the general manager of the Jacksonville Jaguars, joined the media this afternoon over at the Miller Electric Center. Had a lot of good things to say. Let's get it from John Oehser. He's the senior writer at Jaguars.com. We'll get his opinion on the 53-man roster.
Did you see that guy?
Tom McManus.
That is the toughest man I've ever seen in my life.
Catch Tommy Mack with Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony. Fridays on Jaguars Today, 10 to noon on 1010XL.
Rotator cuff injuries are common among athletes and those who have physically demanding careers. Don't let this injury keep you away from the sport you love. Dr. George Barry here, and the first thing you need to do with a serious shoulder injury is to diagnose where the damage is and how significant it is. Rotator cuff tears are either acute tears sustained during an injury or accident, or degenerative tears. If you're interested in learning more about rotator cuff repair and how our expert team of orthopedic surgeons can help you, call Barry Orthopedics today or visit barryorthopedics.com.
These are the last days for Monahan Jewelers store-wide 40 to 50% off sale. These are the biggest savings we could possibly offer, with everything on display discounted 40 to 50% off, ending Saturday, August 30th. We've bought so much brand new jewelry, we need to make room for it, and the only way to do that is to give you huge deals at 40 to 50% off everything. And the sale ends this Saturday, August 30th. Diamond jewelry, colored gemstones, gold chains, everything. Everything on display is 40 to 50% off at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
XL Primetime is back weekdays noon to 2, and on Wednesdays, join Dr. George Bari at 1:20 for the latest in sports injuries from all the big names in the game. Make sure you catch Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime Wednesdays at 1:20 on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Tired of high energy bills? Replace those inefficient windows and patio doors now. It's Renewal by Anderson's Triple Savings Month. Get $300 off windows and $825 off patio doors. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. This offer expires August 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to itppartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
How do you know that your roof is ready for the next big storm? You don't. That's why you need to call me. I'm Ronnie, the owner of Brandon Roofing. We'll assess your roof and fix those issues before they become storm disasters. Visit BrandonRoofing.com today to schedule your free roofing quote.
License number CCC 1328006.
When your plumbing backs up, your septic's acting shady, or your AC quits on a 95-degree day, who are you going to call? Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. Don't take just our word for it. Here's what real customers are saying about their experience with our company.
Megan in the office was so helpful and polite. Scheduling was easy, and the tech showed up right on time.
From plumbing and septic to air conditioning, we do it all. Call 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckrooter.com. When you're stuck, call the Duck.
Football season is here, so I've got to get organized. Lauren Brooks here. Closets by Design creates custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms or entertainment centers, wherever that clutter has taken over. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. Yes, that's 40% off plus an additional 15% off this month only. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Hey, Hicken here for my friends at Cleaning Freaks at Zero Res. Great time of the year to get your house Zero Resified. And right now, you can get your entire home clean from Jacksonville's ultimate carpet cleaner. You'll get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $135. Plus, they're throwing in a free hallway and take $100 off the air duct cleaning. Schedule your appointment at ZeroResJacksonville.com or call 287-5727 and ask for the 1010XL special. Zero Res, spell it backwards or forwards. It spells the same. Zero Res.
Zero Res. 1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. It's time for Oh No's with Jaguars.com's John Oehser. Oh No's. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Served up by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
John Oehser is the senior writer at Jaguars.com. I had the pleasure of seeing him just a couple of hours ago as James Gladstone met with the media. Johnny O, how are you?
Good, Rick. It's like I just saw you.
James Gladstone, once again, I liked what he had to say today. He clearly answered quite a few questions. And, it's just good to have this transparency, get the message out to the Jaguars fans.
Well, I think there's a couple of things. I mean, if anybody's heard me talk about James Gladstone, I'm always impressed and sort of blown away when he speaks to the media because of exactly what you said. The clarity and the ability to make people understand what they're doing, why they're doing it. It's pretty high-end stuff. I think that matters in this sense, Rick. To me, the fact that they can sort of clearly state why they're doing what they're doing means they know why they're doing what they're doing, which is a positive. And, they clearly have a plan. I think they feel like they're following it. They're aggressive toward that. I thought the coolest thing was when he talked about, we're not, I forget exactly how he phrased it, but they're not going to go gently into that night. They're going to be aggressive and they're going to try to think outside the box and be very bold. And, that sort of tracks. And as you said, I think it's really cool to be able to know exactly why they do what they do. So that was today.
You and I have talked about it for years. Trevor had a big-bodied, productive wide receiver, tall wide receiver at Clemson. He's had some guys on the roster here. They've never really been able to get on the field. The front four set as far as wide receivers, but when you bring in a 6'5" Tim Patrick, a guy who's played slot, played outside, considered a very good run blocker, what do you think about him, in 10 days? Is he a guy that you can count on?
You don't always have 5 up, but I think they will. I don't really know exactly what his role would be in the offense immediately. I do think they wanted that element. They clearly traded for that element. So I'd be a little surprised if he's high impact week 1 because they're just not knowing the offense yet. But they put their money where their mouth is on things. And by that I mean this. How often during training camp, at least twice, I asked them about wide receivers once, and blocking is one of the first things they talk about. They talked about how Mike Evans adapted to it with Liam's system last year, how important that is. They don't mind sending messages around here about the running game, and his acquisition today, I think, sends a loud message about that receivers got to be able to block, and that's a big deal. That's a big deal to Liam Cohen.
You and I have seen plenty of coaching changes here, so I don't have the data that would support it, but half the roster has changed in just 1 year. I got to believe that's more than what normally does take place.
Well, with the regime, they made it pretty clear quickly not re-signing any unrestricted free agents. The unrestricted free agent in March was a huge turnover. I think it would be more than that if Ransaw was active, if McLeod was active. Those guys are hurt, which is too bad. But yeah, it's right at half. I'm going to say most regime changes. When Caldwell and Gus came in, I'm guessing it was around 20. So it's not entirely unusual, but there's certainly a stamp on this bunch. I think the fact that the 2 undrafted rookies made it, they want a certain type of player, and I don't think they were trying to get rid of guys, but the fact that 7 former draft picks were among those released and waived, I don't know if that's a huge number, but it sure stood out as a storyline to me yesterday.
Yeah, it's a fair point. John Oehser, I guess, senior writer, Jaguars.com, as he goes into the night with Rick Ballou. If it's not, because I thought they played their way in really against Miami, Strigow and B.J. Green, and maybe even before that. But if it's not the undrafted rookies, John, what surprised you about this 53-man roster?
Yeah, that's always a tough question because, we all follow it so closely that by Tuesday, there aren't really like major surprises. Had you told me at the start of training camp that you're going to have 2 undrafted rookies in the defensive end, that's significant because that's a tough spot to me for rookies to make huge impact. It's just hard, like as a pass runner, Trayvon in his first year 3 sacks elevates to 10. It's a hard spot for a rookie, but they love those guys. BJ Green, I kept hearing last week. I texted somebody and said, "Hey, how much do you like those 2?" The text back was love, right? So I mean that they really like those 2 guys. Sometimes when undrafted guys make it, there's a feeling of, okay, well, they need roster spots. They think both Strigow and BJ Green can be big-time players. So that's interesting, and that surprised you a little bit. 9 offensive linemen. I've been around a lot of teams that keep 10, but the versatility there, I think, is real. Van Lanen, Milam, Makari, Adoga, all these guys played some tackle. They feel like they're versatile there, and they really like Jonah Monheim. So, the fact that both 7th-rounders make it, I don't know that you would have guaranteed that at the start for 7th-rounders, but they love both of their 7th-rounders.
Yeah.
They really like those guys.
Oh, there's no doubt. Yeah, absolutely. And, everyone from this draft class on the team, the 2 exceptions are the McLeod and Ransaw, who are on the IR. Unfortunately for Ransaw, he will be unable to return. All right, let's wrap with James Gladstone today. Great news when it came to Travis Hunter, and I think it was expected that he was practicing today. We're going to get an opportunity to see him practice tomorrow. Also had some positive things to say about Eric Armstead.
Yeah, I kind of liked Rick, the fact that Gladstone kind of said, we don't mind the intrigue there. Like, there's some competitive advantage to people not knowing exactly how much Travis is going to play on each side. James kind of likes that sort of thing and doesn't mind being upfront about it. We're not going to tell Carolina how much he's playing. Why would we? So that was kind of cool. And, Armstead, I think they've gotten a better feel for him as training camp has gone on. They didn't really know much because he wasn't on the field for the first couple of weeks. But they like, I think they feel better about their defensive interior now with some of the additions, with Armstead coming back, with Mason Smith getting back. They feel like they've solidified that along with some roster moves here in the last couple of weeks of training camp. That's an area to watch as the season gets going.
Yeah, no doubt about it. John Oehser, ladies and gentlemen, get it all from John. Just go to Jaguars.com. He is the senior writer, he and his staff, with constant daily updates. I'll see you tomorrow morning at the Miller Electric Center, John.
We'll be there, Rick. Stay hydrated.
There he goes, John Oehser, and appreciate his time as always. So, we're going to get an opportunity tomorrow to get on out there and watch them. This is really rare as far as I am concerned. I can't ever remember anything like this happening, with the 2 weeks off before the start of the regular season. Let me see. Tomorrow, 11:10 to 12:50, practice is open. So that's good news there. Then we're going to hear from Liam Cohen and Trevor Lawrence. And then an opportunity to interview some others. I know I'm talking with Ventrell Miller tomorrow. Depth chart had Ventrell Miller over Devin Lloyd. And also it looks like it's going to be Makari at right guard, not Chuma Odega. So, we don't know that for sure, but certainly those are questions that we will ask Liam Cohen coming up after tomorrow morning's practice at the Miller Electric Center. All right, we got much more to do. If you want to join us, 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Also on YouTube, you can join us. Let's go to 1010XL into the night. My buddy Danny Van Sickle is here. A huge game coming up in Tallahassee. We'll talk about that and also the latest on the Jags on the other side.
He's our big hitter.
I'm Jaguars Today's middle linebacker, Tom McManus.
He tackles Jags talk from a middle linebacker's point of view. Fridays on 1010XL. Protected by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Don't just stand there. Everything you need to turn $1 into an epic win is in your hand. Hard Rock Bet. Bet it, parlay it, boost it, however you want to do it. From wherever you are to the moon. Bet anytime a line, prop, or parlay catches your eye. And withdraw cash when you want it. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us. New players bet $5 and get $150 instantly in bonus bets. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Checkmate Coatings. Your floor's missing piece.
Yo, Jacksonville, Hickens Hype. Checkmate Coatings crushes it with floors I'd put in my own pad.
I'm Brendan with Checkmate Coatings. We coat it all. Garages, pool decks, driveways, and patios. Be the envy of your neighbors.
Rush to checkmatecoatings.com. Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Checkmate Coatings. Your floor's missing piece.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On August 27, 2017, Floyd Mayweather defeated Conor McGregor in 10 rounds.
If you're 35 to 75, you could get life insurance today. No medical exam needed. I'm Cody with Harborstone Financial. One call could protect your family for life. Call me today, 904-885-9566.
You've got a lot on your plate. The last thing you need is car trouble. At Maxie's Mechanics, we help you keep your cars, trucks, and SUVs running safely. Visit MaxieAutoRepair.com today for honest service, reliable repairs, and peace of mind for you and your family.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care, totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
Denny Thompson here. Look, don't get left in the dark. We're all trying to reason with hurricane season, so at least be prepared. For top-of-the-line generators in Jacksonville, I turn to Tyson. Licensed pros at Tyson deliver reliable, whole-home standby generators and provide fast repair service. They even do custom installations for local businesses, so don't wait. Ensure seamless installation and peace of mind. Call Tyson now, 904-762-1000 for a free estimate on generator services. TysonInc.com.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. As temperatures warm up around us, ants come out in droves. And when they move into your home or business, it's unnerving. Terminix knows that ants add up fast, but Terminix subtracts them faster because living with ants isn't any fun. When ants show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with an ant problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com.
Tired of wrestling with your shower curtain like it's a fight for the last slice of pizza? Ditch the drama and say hello to a smooth, stylish glass shower enclosure from Baker Glass. Wago Glass is clean, elegant, and makes your bathroom look huge and brighter. Give your shower a makeover and feel like you're in a spa without the price tag. I'm Mac at Baker Glass. Call me and get ready to love your new shower. Let's make your shower great again. Remember, Baker Glass, no one treats you better.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
1010XL, presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farrah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, tomorrow night, right out of the gate, Tim Brando's going to join us. He's working Minnesota and Buffalo. Buffalo won 11 games a year ago, and then he'll make his way to Ames, Iowa, to get ready for Iowa State and South Dakota. So that'll be tomorrow night. And during high school football season, we will do Into the Night during the day. We'll be on 4 to 6 p.m. on 1010. and that is during high school football season that begins this Friday. Again, Friday only, 4 until 6 on 1010. Danny Van Sickle is my buddy, and he is here. Of course, a huge part of the Electrical Training Alliance. And here we are, Danny. Florida State football coming up in 3 days. You ready?
Yeah, it is. At beginning of football season also singles the beginning of our fall school year. So very proud of what we're doing at the school and excited. But yeah, man, finally college football is here this weekend.
Yeah, and a year ago at this time, you were in Dublin, Ireland, or I guess the game was actually played last Saturday. So again, not an easy opponent. It was Tech there, got off to a good start, then they let it get away. This time it's Alabama, and boy, they're a 2-touchdown underdog.
Yeah, in my experience, normally Vegas knows what they're doing, and they've got them set at 13.5 points. If you look at last season for both teams, it shouldn't surprise you. I mean, a 2-10 team going against Alabama. I would say this. If you're going to look at last year, you got to look at all of last year. So that means you got to look at Alabama last year, too. You're looking at an Alabama team that lost to Vanderbilt last year. I don't think Vanderbilt was above 500 in the conference. They got boat raced by an Oklahoma team.
Oh, yeah.
And I know for a fact, I think they only had 2 conference wins last year.
21 points they lost.
Yeah, so Bama's strength is going to be their offensive line. Make no mistake about it. And if you look at the credentials that they have, they've got All-Americans. If I'm Alabama, I'm wanting to run the ball more. They got a redshirt senior quarterback who's only played 1 or 2 games and didn't look very good when he started. He did some cleanup after that. They're going to be tough on the lines of scrimmage. Florida State is pretty thin on its line. So what you have to do is you have to be creative in these games. You're a lifelong Nole like I have. So there have been plenty of games where we were favored, where we should have just beat the brakes off a team, and then they came in and figure out a way to beat FSU. FSU has to have that same mindset. A lot of people make a big deal about the transfers. Florida State has 16 transfers on its 22. But I would remind people, Alabama's got 13. So, again, I'm not saying Florida State is Alabama. Clearly they're not. Alabama is the better team. You would think that they would win. It is in Doak. You remember a while back, FSU wasn't all that good. They had Oklahoma to start out the year, almost won that game. That was Jimbo's year before they won the national championship. You look at the Notre Dame game. They were 0-4 that year, and they went into overtime with Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So, and those two things had the same thing in common as this weekend. The game is in Doak. If I'm Alabama, you want to take the crowd out quick. You want to get up on FSU 21-3, 21-7. You want people sitting on their hands. You want people dejected, thinking, "Oh my gosh, here we go again, 2-10 last year. Now we're getting boat raced." You do not want to let a team like that hang around, get momentum, get the crowd into it. If you look at Castellanos, you look at what he did against FSU last year. I mean, he looked like a world beater. I think a lot of that had to do with FSU's poor defense. Those guys running wide open last year. But I wouldn't look at last year's game with Tommy. I would look at the year before that. When FSU had, I believe it was a 28-point lead against them in Chestnut Hill, and they had to hold on for dear life, and a penalty call is what ended the game. Castellanos looked like a Heisman Trophy winner, not just running. He was throwing some great passes. Obviously fell off the cliff a little bit with Bill O'Brien, different offense, different kind of mentality. So obviously if I was picking the game, I would never pick Florida State to beat Alabama. It's just unrealistic to think that. But you can't tell me it won't happen, because I've seen our own team lose teams that they should have definitely beat.
Yeah, and you make a good point. You can't get down early. You can't take the crowd out. I think Alabama's going to travel well. It's a very expensive ticket. There's also supposed to be a ton of rain that is going to hit, I think, as early as tomorrow and Friday, so it could be a wet surface, and who knows what does take place there. But FSU needs to make a couple of stops. Florida State needs to find a way to put up some points early in the game. And what I really think is a big factor here is there's so much talk about Norvell being on the hot seat and a totally new offense, totally new defense. What if Kalen DeBoer really isn't a great coach? This isn't a Nick Saban team. There's still a ton of talent, but Nick Saban got the most out of his coaches just like he got the most out of his players. You brought up some of those bad losses last year for Alabama. What if Kalen DeBoer's not a great coach?
Yeah, and when you look at the sample size of Kalen DeBoer, he had an all-world player in Michael Penix before he left. First-round draft pick, Michael Penix. It seems like ancient history now, but let's not forget, Kalen DeBoer wasn't their first choice. Mike Norvell was their first choice. FSU had to overpay Norvell and give him a $70 million contract because Alabama wanted him. Made no mistake about it. And I'll be honest with you, I was surprised Alabama didn't land him because you see Jimbo left for that big SEC money. Right. Norvell could have easily left for that SEC money. He wanted to stay in Tallahassee. I'm thinking after the 2-10 season, he may have kind of rethought that. But, he's there now. I don't see him going anywhere because of the amount of the contract that he has. And this isn't to talk disparagingly about DeBoer at all. I'm just not sure that you have a huge sample size of what he can do whenever he has to coach someone. Keep this in mind, even when he went to Alabama last year, he still had Jalen Milroe, someone who had gotten that team into the playoffs the year before above Florida State. He had an experienced quarterback last year. I want to see what he can do with someone that's only started 1 or 2 games that doesn't have the kind of experience that the Penix had and that Milroe had. I want to see what he can do on a road in a loud environment. FSU is probably the closest to an SEC environment than any team in the ACC outside of Clemson. Of course, Miami definitely doesn't have that kind of environment. Great team, but not a great environment. So I think they got a puncher's chance to win this one. And keep this in mind. This is, and people don't want to say this, and people don't want to admit it. If there was a new head coach at FSU, they would call this a rebuild year. New offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, 16 transfers coming in. It pretty much is a rebuild bill for FSU. So I don't have a lot of high expectations for them this year. If they keep that game pretty close, Alabama should win. They have the better athletes. They're going to lean on them. But you know what? If you look at the schedule, if FSU could stay pretty close in this one, they got to 2 what you would think would be gimmies. They got a Virginia on a Friday night. They got a Miami after that. Miami is obviously going to be a pretty good team with Beck. But then they have I think they have a Syracuse after that. So FSU could easily be 6-2 going into, November. After what we saw last year, I take it.
Yeah, it's amazing how things have changed in a year. Last year, we were talking about Patrick Payton and Marvin Jones Jr. and all this superstar, and, they're going to be heading off to the NFL. It's kind of I don't want to say, the lack of household names, but a lot of it's like, where did these guys come from? And Norvell's always been really big in the transfer portal, but I think you can make a comparison to what Norvell has done to what James Gladstone and the Jaguars have done. If you were not buying into what they're trying to do, they got rid of you. And they even did it with Conrad Hussey just a couple of weeks ago. Now, I don't know if that translates into wins, but he certainly took that approach, and he's handing the keys now to Gus Malzahn. And, we'll see this 3-3-5 defense that Tony White's going to employ.
So there's a couple of different ways of looking at this. Coming off of the snub year, there were high expectations for FSU last year. Everybody thought that there wouldn't be a huge drop-off. They had the Patrick Paytons coming back. They brought in a lot of transfers last year. But what they did is, if you look at who they brought in last year, they brought in potential people. They brought in a wide receiver from Alabama that had never played, but he was like a 4 or 5 star coming out. Right. Patrick Payton, he was awesome from the time that he was a freshman. So they just kind of figured he would be a leader. And I think that probably taught the coach a lesson. You just can't go off of the potential. You got to have people that are willing to buy into your program. And if you look at the depth chart that was just put out this past week, they've got some pretty good people starting. They just don't have a lot of depth. If you look at the depth, I think they have a walk-on listed on the 2 deep. Not a good sign when you're a walk-on. Not a great sign when you're a walk-on. But you know what? If the guy's got a motor and he's one of their guys, listen, you lost last year with superstars who got all kind of NL money. Look at what Patrick Payton got whenever he went to LSU. Yeah. So if you're going to lose, well, then you might as well lose with, guys that are your guys.
Well, he's a safety. Maybe he becomes Shevin Smith or Andre Wadsworth.
Can't come out of nowhere. Andre Wadsworth made a lot of money.
Was the best walk-on that they ever did have. Danny Van Sickle, our guest. Okay, the Jags. Haven't talked to you in a little bit. They made their cuts down to 53. Just everything you've heard, the people you've talked to, your excitement level on Jaguars football, it's only 10 days away.
Yeah, man, it seems like we're always excited because we're always resetting around here. I mean, we got Liam Cohen, and we wanted. We didn't think we were going to get him because of the GM situation. We got him. Obviously Travis Hunter, that was a splash pick, took the whole league by surprise. Nobody saw that coming.
Mm-hmm.
You would think for a team like this, if anything, they would have traded back and tried to bolster some of their depth. It would be nice if you wasn't rebuilding every 3 years, if you could just have the consistent. I heard your conversation earlier, 6 draft picks released this year. So obviously their evaluation over the last couple of years isn't as good as it should have been. But it's kind of like this. If they're your team, they're your team. You have to have faith that I assure you, Shad Khan does not want to keep losing. He's not, making bad decisions on purpose when he brings people in. The guy wants to win.
Yeah.
And if you listen to, the people around the league, Gladstone and Cohen were knock out of the park hires if you listen to everybody. Gladstone kind of an enigma, but just because of the age. If he did the exact same thing he did, but he was 42, nobody would bat an eye about that. So yes, he was younger, but listen, what do you have to lose? If you look at what you've been doing over the last 5, 10, pretty much ever since Miles Jack wasn't down, do you really have a lot to lose by getting a 25-year-old general manager? You don't. Do you have a lot to lose by moving up in the draft and picking what could potentially be the first real two-way player in 20, 25 years in the NFL? You don't. So if they're your team and you're going to watch them anyway, you might as well watch a team that you're excited to watch and don't know what you're getting compared to just doing the same old thing and expecting a different result.
Yeah, I think that's the definition of being insane.
It is.
If I remember correctly. Gladstone's not 25, though. What is he, 34? I think he's 34.
He looks like he's 21.
He looks it. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. But I guarantee the stress of this job, unfortunately, will get to him. It gets to them all. All right, tell us what's going on. The Electrical Training Alliance, I know the school year is upon us. What's the latest?
Yeah, so we are starting our fall school year next week, actually. So it got here quick. We are just busting at the seams as far as work in Northeast Florida. We have over 10 companies that, use Electrical Training Alliance. Everybody's heard of Miller Electric. We have Cogman Brothers. But we've got over 10 other companies that also do work with us. There is work everywhere. And so when you have that much work, there is a high demand for skilled labor. Whenever you put that on top of the amount of people that have left the trades over the last 5 to 10 to 15 years, there's actually a skilled labor gap. And it isn't just us. It's plumbers, pipe fitters. It's all across the board. I'm happy that I'm an electrician. I've been an electrician since I was 19 years old. I would never pick any other trade. And this is a great time to be an electrician. If you look at all the data centers that are being built all around this country to support the AI that's coming, the need for electricians, there just seems to be no end in sight for it. That's a great thing for us. But specifically here in Northeast Florida, we still have hospitals that are being built. Most likely it's going to be one of our contractors that do the Jaguars stadium. You look at all of the projects, the skylines, you look at how much infrastructure that the paper mills are putting into their process. Look at all the water treatment plants and power plants that are being built around here. And the majority of that work is done by our contractors. Wow. And so that's a really big time for us. We took in a lot of apprentices. Cool stat, we took in 140 apprentices last month. Only 80 of them were actually working in the trade beforehand. So the rest, they were people that were salesmen, worked in warehouses, some directly out of high school. They may have been driving a truck, may have been working retail. And they said to themselves, you know what? I want to start a career in the electrical industry. I can make really good money. I can learn a career in a trade that's going to benefit me and my family for years to come.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that because you can be coming out of college or coming out of high school and you're not ready for college. You can't afford college. When you sign up here, all you got to pay for is your books.
That's it. We do not charge any tuition. The key with us is getting accepted into our school. There's a process for that. There's an application process. There's an interview process. There's a ranking process. We had over 600 applications in the last 6 months to get into our program. About 300 people qualified for an interview. And like I said, we took in 140. So It is a very competitive process, but it's competitive for a reason. We want the best of the best. We want young men and women who want to get into the trade that are going to benefit our contractors, but benefit themselves and make a better quality of life for them. And there is just so much work and opportunity right now. We are still looking for more, and we're wanting a lot of applicants for our winter term as well.
All right. How is the best way to reach you?
Best way, just go to our website, etajax.org. We have pictures there. We have videos there. The application is done from there. You don't even have to come into our school to do the application. You can do it from the comfort of your home. Complete everything there. November 8th is going to be our next deadline for our January class. So you still have a little bit of time, but we always tell people don't wait till the last minute, because you go to find that Social Security card or you go to find that birth certificate, you think you know where it is, and all of a sudden you don't know where it is, and it might be a process to get it. So if this is something that you want to do, go ahead and sign up for it. And you don't even have to wait until January to become an electrician. We have entry-level positions for people that want to get into the electrical field before getting the apprenticeship and just see what it's like. Some people, they think they want to be electricians. They get there, they say, hey, it's not for me. If you want to get in and before the apprenticeship, we have those entry-level positions for you. You can see what it's like to be on a job site and work as an electrician.
Wow. Very impressive. Once again, the website.
etajax.org.
Danny Van Sickle, always good to see you.
Glad to be here.
All right, much more to do, including your response. 641-1010 on the text line. Brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. And if you're watching tonight on YouTube, just go to 1010XL into the night.
Frank Frangie here. It's always truck season at Nimnick Chevrolet. Well, this month, you can save up to 20% off a new Silverado or get financing rates as low as 0%. Unlike most dealerships, Nimnick Chevrolet has the largest inventory on the ground, ready for you to explore. With their extensive selection, you're sure to find your perfect truck at Nimnick. So shop online at nimnickchevy.com or visit the dealership at Park and Cassett. Who's got more new Chevrolets at the best prices? Nobody but Nimnick. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Fall is here. The air is crisp. Football is on, and the perfect backyard atmosphere starts with a high-quality fireplace from CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. Hey, it's Joe C. Imagine nights by the fire, cheering on your team, surrounded by friends and family. CSS can transform your outdoor space into the ultimate game day destination. Stylish, warm, and built for memories. With several wood, gas, and electric options, let CSS make your backyard the best seat in the house. Visit CSSFireplaces.com.
Frank Frangie here for Coyle & Sons Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports memories. Remember Morton Anderson missing a chip shot field goal that launched the Jags into the playoffs in 1996? You know who doesn't miss? Coyle & Sons Fencing. If you're in the market for a new fence, I recommend calling Coyle & Sons today at 904-356-4821. That's 904-356-4821. Or visit CoyleJax.com. That's COYLE Jax.com. Coyle & Sons, keeping your business and home safe for nearly a century.
These are the last days for Monahan Jewelers store-wide 40 to 50% off sale. These are the biggest savings we could possibly offer, with everything on display discounted 40 to 50% off, ending Saturday, August 30th. We've bought so much brand new jewelry, we need to make room for it, and the only way to do that is to give you huge deals at 40 to 50% off everything. And the sale ends this Saturday, August 30th. Diamond jewelry, colored gemstones, gold chains, everything. Everything on display is 40 to 50% off at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Frangie, and I got to tell you, I can't fix anything. I would be so lost with plumbing problems if not for Duck Duck Rooter. But everybody knows to call the Duck. Well, I do too. Whether it's plumbing, air conditioning, septic, they handle all of it, and nobody does a better job than our friends at Duck Duck Rooter. Any of those needs you have, call them today, 904-862-6769, or go to duckduckrooter.com. If you've got problems, call Duck Duck Rooter. They'll handle it. I guarantee it.
Brackish Vodka, the spirit of the sportsman and proud partner of the Jaguars, is now available at the Fresh Market Spirits and Wine. The Fresh Market Spirits and Wine is a new adult beverage store offering spirits, wine, beer, and accessories at A1A North in Ponte Vedra, a first-of-its-kind destination for thoughtfully curated spirits, wine, and beer as only the Fresh Market can. And now, you can get Brackish Vodka at the Fresh Market. Brackish Vodka, for whatever your sport is. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
This football season, Hurricane Grill and Wings is your game day getaway. Catch every play with the perfect drink in hand. Handcrafted cocktails like the Millionaire Margarita, Spicy Guavarita, Old Fashioned, or the Red Bullerita. Beer more your style to watch the games? Enjoy an ice cold Bud Light. Game day cocktails and Bud Light specials are here all season long at Hurricane Grill and Wings. Find a restaurant near you at hurricanewings.com.
At Performance Painting, we've spent decades protecting commercial properties with durable, long-lasting coatings. And we can bring the same expertise when painting the exterior of your home. With industry-leading materials and a proven process, we extend the life of your home, reducing maintenance costs and preserving its value. Now, for a limited time, save $500 when you hire us to paint your home's exterior. Just mention 1010XL. Go to performancepainting.com to schedule a friendly estimate. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
1010XL, presented by Farrah and Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farrah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Good to see my buddy Danny Van Sickle. A trade. So important. Being an electrician. Makes some damn good money, benefits, and you don't have to worry about the gig going away. Electrical Training Alliance. Big fan. Boy, the comments. I mean, just getting crushed here. One after another. FSU has no chance. I'm obviously rooting for them since I'm a fan, but damn, it's going to be rough. They're going to make Castellanos look dumb. I can already see the dancing and the taunts. 14-point spread at home is wild. They're getting taken to the woodshed. Fire Norvell. Give us Dion or Dillingham. Norvell can't coach and he can't recruit. Get him out of here. He will be looking confused at the Jumbotron by the middle of the first quarter. He did coin that a year ago. That was one of the, most alarming things I've ever seen with a head coach is looking. And it was disturbing. 1243 says, Ballou, when you have Tim Brando on. Tim Brando tomorrow night at, actually, that is not 1243. 1243 says, 8-year veteran with an ACL history. Must be a friend or favor. No. How about neither? They think that Tim Patrick can play. But you're right. He did tear his ACL in 2022, and he tore his Achilles in 2023. 6'5", 210. He becomes a red zone target. He's a very good blocking wide receiver that can help by taking a corner out of the equation, but also being involved in the screen game. If it's a design screen for Travis Etienne, or if it's a design screen for Bashal Tutin, having him out there, again, Pro Football Focus ranked him 11th out of 137 blocking tight ends a year ago. What was the other one that I wanted to put on here? Now, you tell me now that Ohio State is starting a true freshman who's talented? Well, yeah, we mentioned the true freshman. Well, I thought that he was a redshirt freshman. Are they not going with the guy that I mentioned earlier? I mean, we'll see if we can figure that out for sure as to, what exactly they are doing. All right, Ballou, do we have any chance Saturday? Don't be afraid to hurt my feelings. Yeah. They have a chance if everything goes their way. Even great Florida State teams were, for the most part, mistake-filled, right? I mean, Florida State, even in the Bowden years and in the Jimbo years, they were consistently leaders of the Atlantic Coast Conference in penalties, and a lot of times they were among college football leaders. You can't make those mistakes against an opponent like Alabama. And when 4/5 of your offensive line are senior transfers, you wonder about continuity and camaraderie. So I can't forecast a clean game. Okay? I expect there to be penalties, but that's what you need. You need a clean game. You need to take advantage of some opportunities. You need to try to win the game, right? Not just have a respectable outcome. You got to take some shots. You have to take some chances. They like their skill position guys. They do. They like their wide receivers. They like their running backs. The other thing is what I just talked about. How good of a coach is Kalen DeBoer? Okay. If you can find weaknesses there, if he doesn't coach, I mean, who's going to out-coach one another? Again, Norvell is going to oversee everything now. This is Gus Malzahn. Gus Malzahn goes back forever when it comes to preparing for Alabama. Granted, this is not a Nick Saban Alabama coach team, but certainly Gus Malzahn is very familiar with Alabama. And then you go to the flip side and, say what you want about Tony White. The guy's done a nice job defensively in his career. Syracuse, Nebraska, some of the turnaround, 3-3-5. I don't know against a running team if you can consistently stay with that. Are you going to have to stack the box? It sounds to me like Bama's going to have some success running. And now Alabama, they're already without their best running back. But I saw it a little bit earlier today off of the defensive line. Defensive lineman Tim Keenan is just undergone surgery for his ankle. So he's going to miss multiple games. That means that he will not be able to play this weekend as well. So there you go. I mean, there's a chance. I certainly wouldn't bet on it. No way. Not even close would that happen. 1120 says, Ballou, I bet Miami loses 3 games this year. I haven't decided what I'm going to do. Notre Dame, Miami. I find myself right now leaning towards Notre Dame. I just do. I think they have a better team. Okay. I think they have a better coach. It gets hot in the Midwest. I spent 7 years in Chicago. South Bend is not that far away. It's a different type of heat. It's more humid, as we know, in South Florida. But, hey, and here's the way I'm looking at it. What a treat for college football fans to be able to get this game on Sunday night at 7:30. Okay, so you can say Notre Dame. You can say Florida. Can you say Florida State? Well, a lot of that will depend on what we see Saturday. Okay, and any coach will tell you you improve the most between week 1 and week 2. Where's Florida State going to be the first weekend of October? We don't know. Louisville, that's a Friday night game in Miami. Okay. Stanford may be the worst team in college football right now. Going to SMU, great year last year. Is that expected again this season? I'm sure you can make the case. NC State, but they get that in Miami. Boy, if you were going in the Raleigh, okay, I'd ring the bell a little bit. It's a game. I'll do the same with the final 2, though. At Vatech and at Pittsburgh, cold weather games. And as we said earlier, I mean, Miami plays game after game after game after game at home. They don't hit the road until November 1st when they go to SMU. So I'm just... So, I'm one of those who doesn't want it to get here because I love my summer. And I've told you why I love this summer, because everything's measured by wins and losses. I mean, if you're a combo Florida State Jaguar fan, your teams last year went 6-23. I mean, that is absolutely devastating. That's not disappointing. That's not sad. That is freaking devastating. 6-23. If that's your school on Saturday and that's your NFL team on Sunday. So that's why I'm in no hurry to get here. But now that it is here, it's like it's on. And it's on, obviously up until the Super Bowl. So, but we got a great weekend in college football. I'm going to hit all of these primary games tomorrow night with Tim Brando who again is going to join us at 6:13. So we'll do that on Thursday night with Timmy B. He's got a big one coming up. Minnesota playing host to Buffalo. So he's got that at 8 o'clock on FS1. But Timmy Brando always makes out time for us here in Duval. All right. Hacker Nation always takes time out for you here in Duval. He will be joining you in 15 minutes. In the meantime, we got much more to do. I'm Rick Ballou. We'll go till 8 o'clock.
Our son Eric's a Division I collegiate baseball pitcher who is having shoulder pain. We took him to Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and are confident that he's now on the road to recovery. This is Beth Anderson, and we love the care Eric receives at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Sports fans, this is David Garrard here. And if you're suffering from orthopedic soreness, make an appointment at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, where everyone is treated like a pro.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Football season is here, so I've got to get organized. Lauren Brooks here. Closets by Design creates custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms or entertainment centers, wherever that clutter has taken over. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. Yes, that's 40% off plus an additional 15% off this month only. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? You have questions? Call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
When storms start to crop up in the Atlantic or Gulf this time of year, having a solid plan to handle anything that sweeps through the First Coast is very important. That's where American Electrical comes in. Ensure your home's safety and comfort with an American Electrical home generator. As the area's leading home generator dealer and installer, American Electrical can offer you easy installation, simple maintenance, and peace of mind. Schedule an assessment by simply calling the team at American Electrical. They'll walk you through the best generator for your home or business. Log on, american-electrical.com.
Kuhn Flowers announces their home holiday decorating team is now taking orders for the holiday season. This is JJ with 1010XL. No more hassling with tree buying, untangling, and hanging burned out lights. Call on Kuhn Flowers, they'll do it all.
Champion Jumbo Shrimp are home at newly renovated Vistar Ballpark this week. Tonight is Wear at Home Wednesday, presented by Better Health and Renewal by Anderson. Tomorrow is Mojo Military Appreciation on Coors Light Thirsty Thursday. Then it's Big D Building Center Friday Fireworks. Saturday, the Honey Drippers return. Baseball all week and weekend. JackShrimp.com for tickets. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball.
Hey, Hicken here for my friends at Cleaning Freaks at Zero Res. Great time of the year to get your house Zero Resified. And right now, you can get your entire home clean from Jacksonville's ultimate carpet cleaner. You'll get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $135. Plus, they're throwing in a free hallway and take $100 off the air duct cleaning. Schedule your appointment at ZeroResJacksonville.com or call 287-5727 and ask for the 1010XL special. Zero Res, spell it backwards or forwards. It spells the same. Zero Res.
Zero Res.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative, here to share with you an actual client review.
Dude, these shirts are sick.
Check out the shirts and other sick promo items at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
What is 1010XL's Jeff Prosser's favorite movie? The answer next.
Southern Oak Insurance is proud to continue offering coverage statewide. Financial stability makes Southern Oak Insurance a wise choice for your homeowner's insurance needs. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Believe it or not, Jeff Prosser's favorite movie is The Wizard of Oz.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
If golf is your thing, you'll want to check out Hidden Hills Golf Club. At Hidden Hills, we simply love the game, and we take great care of our golfing friends. Check us out at hiddenhillsgc.com. We look forward to seeing you at the club.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
Well, it's a big day around here. James Gladstone met with the media. The 53-man roster was set yesterday at 4. They did make a move today. Austin Trammell no longer here. He was waived. That is because the Jaguars made a deal with Detroit. They get the 6'5" wide receiver, Tim Patrick. He's 31 years of age. They gave up a 6th-round pick in 2026. A year ago, 33 receptions, 394 yards, 3 touchdowns, an average of 11.9. Undrafted by Baltimore in 2017, played with bad quarterbacks in Denver, then suffered injuries. The torn ACL again in 2022 and the Achilles in 2023, but he's considered a very good blocking wide receiver. He is a guy who's played in both the slot and on the outside, and we'll see if there is a role for him. Trevor Lawrence has never had the big body wide receiver who could consistently get on the field here, right? There's been some guys during training camp and what have you, and some mop-up duty or, in because of attrition. But now you get that with Tim Patrick. 14 practice squad decisions were made today as well by the Jaguars, and they got the one guy that I think most out there would agree they had to bring back, and that is the running back, Jaquindon Jackson. So still a couple of spots are available. They could bring back Trammell, right? On your 16 practice squad players, 10, 2 years or less as far as service, you can bring 6 onto your roster where they have played any amount of years. So veterans absolutely do apply there. One other note, Gio Lopez going to be your starter for Bill Belichick in North Carolina as they get set to take on TCU. And someone was asking us earlier, we did officially look it up. Who was it again?
Julian Saint, Ohio State quarterback, is a sophomore.
Julian, yeah, he's the guy that went to Alabama as a 5-star, then transferred over to Ohio State, got some mop-up duty in a year ago, but he is originally out of California.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
All right, Hager Nation is here as we move closer to football in general. Tomorrow night, this weekend, boy, the college list is just incredible.
Yeah, a lot of good college games tomorrow night. Tomorrow night marks 1 week away from Philadelphia and Dallas to open the NFL season. Of course, we got college ball Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday as well. I know you and I will be back out at the Miller Electric Center tomorrow for Jaguar practice. Looking forward to getting back out there, and it'll have more of a regular season feel, as you would have to think. All eyes now begin looking to the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah. Your thoughts on, the move they made today, getting themselves a veteran, a 6'5" wide receiver?
Yeah, we're going to go to Detroit. One of my guys up there is Benjamin Raven. He's with Michigan Live, mlive.com. He's also the host of the Dungeon of Doom, Detroit Lions podcast, and we're going to get kind of the info on Tim Patrick. The one thing I remember about Tim Patrick was just being heartbroken for the guy. After he had an ACL injury in 22, he comes back in training camp at 23 and tears the Achilles. And you're thinking, my God, man, this guy's career may be over. That was when he was in Denver, I believe, for those, or he was in Denver for at least one of them. Then he goes to Detroit and kind of has a resurgence last year, played in 16 of 17 games, 33 catches. And I was talking to Ben earlier, my Lions guy that we're going to have on. The thought going into camp was that Patrick was competing for the number 3 spot as the Detroit wide receiver. Now, he missed about a week and a half for an unspecified injury in camp, but apparently in that Lions-Dolphins joint practice, Patrick looked very good, and this kind of came as a surprise up in Detroit earlier today. It's almost ironic, too, that Tim Patrick comes here while both Daniel Thomas and Tyler Lacey end up in Detroit as the Lions signed Thomas and claimed Lacey off of waivers. So we'll talk about all of that. But on the surface, I like it. At the end of the day, though, Rick, I think we do this every year. It's the 5th wide receiver on your team.
5th wide receiver.
If Tim Patrick is playing a lot, that's a problem because guys in front of him have gotten hurt.
Yeah, and you don't want that, obviously. But he is an interesting target. At least somewhat intriguing to, watch him work tomorrow during that practice. All right, you have that in Detroit. What else is coming up tonight?
Yeah, Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4 will join me to give his thoughts on the 53-man roster. And then with Florida and Florida State less than 72 hours away, we will have both play-by-play men. Sean Kelly, the radio voice of the Florida Gators. You'll hear his call of Florida and Long Island. You'll hear him all season long here on 1010XL. We'll have Sean coming up tonight. And Jeff Colhane, the radio voice of the Florida State Seminoles, as they get ready for Alabama on Saturday. So we're absolutely loaded tonight until 10 o'clock.
All right. Have a great show. See you tomorrow.
Thanks, Rick.
That'll be at the Miller Electric Center in the 11 o'clock hour. Look forward to that. A little extra treat by getting one more prize. I thought we were done outside of watching them stretch. That's not the case. We're going to get that tomorrow. So already excited about that. All right. Also, tomorrow night, Tim Brando at 6:13. College football fans. Remember, Friday's show during high school football season, we're on AM. That's 10:10 from 4 until 6. In the meantime, talk with you tomorrow night at 6 o'clock right on your home of the Jags.